G'day everyone, it's Dr. Colin here and welcome to another Pow-Wow podcast. I have with me Freakster, Crybabe and Pcardi. Say hello everybody.
Hello everybody.
And what we're going to be talking about for this podcast is actually if there was an awful movie or even a movie that was good, what would we do to make it better? So I've gotten you guys to sort of maybe think about, you know, some films or whatever that you might want to change. And how about you, Freakster? Have you had a think about what you might want to change?
Just setting a light to the recruit.
All right. Well, what do you think?
That's the only thing I can think of.
All right. So
Like,
the recruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess you guys don't know the premise of the recruit. All right, so good old Pacino's in it. Al Pacino's in it, and God, what's the other guy's name? I can't remember. Colin Firth or Farrell? Shit, which one am I talking about? The Irishman.
That's Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. Yeah. Okay. So basically, it's your standard spy movie, more or less, where you just where Al Pacino plays this ambiguous character, and Colin Farrell, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He's the new recruit, and so during the entire movie, it's just more or less a thriller cat and mouse thing. The problem is, it was the most boring shit I've ever wasted $20 on. Like, I think the entire audience was doing their own shit during the movie. Like, I can hear people like talking to each other. Even the guys I was with watching the movie, they started doing their own shit. They were even like cracking jokes about the movie as it was still playing. And there were people also in the front that were like chucking food at the screen, and you know, it was boring as all hell. So like a massive improvement. I mean, Al Pacino, great guy, great actor, but he could not save that movie whatsoever.
All right. So what's something that you think could have improved the experience?
Man, I don't know. Freaking burning it. I like straight up. I don't know. Like you, clearly, all of you haven't seen it, which I recommend you never see it ever. Don't go anywhere near it. You see it on the shelf. You run.
Or 6.6 stars.
On what?
6 out of what?
Out of 100? No, out of 10.
What?
On what
Really?
though?
I'm checking in different places. Roger Ebert gave it 3 stars out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
It is rotten. It's got the average rating of 5.5.
Okay, so it hasn't rated terribly well on the tomato meter.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's bloody horrible.
All right. So, what would you say is like the worst thing about the film, apart from that it was boring? Like, is there a particular moment in the film?
The storyline didn't like work out too well. That was the boring aspect of it. So that's the entire thing so far. If you see the story and you sit there and you're bored as shit because the story is not intriguing enough, then yeah, it's a doomed film. I don't know. I think it was just the fact that the chemistry between Colin and Mr. Pacino wasn't great. I mean, you know, you can see Pacino trying to, you know, work it as best he could, but like I said, there was no way in saving that movie.
Okay.
In actual fact, I can barely remember all of it, more or less, or a large portion of it, because it was just not that grasping, not that intriguing, not anything.
Okay performances in a rote exercise of predictability. Same old CIA crap. I was expecting a thriller, if not a suspense, but this was outright predictable.
Okay, so I'm just having a look at the blurb.
Oh, reviews. Okay.
So in an era when the country's first line of defense, human intelligence, is more important than ever, comes an explosive thriller that gives an insider's view into the CIA's secret training ground, the farm. James Clayton might not have the attitude of a typical recruit, but he is one of the smartest graduating seniors in the country, and he's just the person that Walter Burke wants in the agency. So
This This sounds boring already.
Yeah.
I love that. Just Pcardi starts just yawning, falling asleep.
So it sounds like Colin Farrell's character is like a Mary Sue, just like doesn't have any kind of character trait other than they're just really, really good at everything. Is that about?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Well, whenever we've got a character that's really good at something, we have to give them like foibles. And, you know, the stranger the foible, the better, because it creates really weird tension and drama. So what if it was like, you know, he's the smartest CIA recruit in the world, but like he's deathly afraid of peanuts. And like, you know, he goes to the vending machine in the CIA office and he's like, I need to get a snack, and he looks in there and everything's got peanuts in it. It's like Snickers bars and, you know, whatever. And he just like has a mental breakdown because he can't eat anything because it's just all full of peanuts. And Pacino's like, what are you doing? And he's just
No, he hits a mental breakdown. It becomes like the Bourne Identity. He plays Bourne, but he's just killing everyone because there was peanuts in the thing.
So he goes on a rampage.
Yeah.
He goes on a peanut-induced rampage. And so maybe Pacino's role is to like bring him down before he gets out of hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like the only one that, you know, has the ability to you know, understand the mind of a person going through peanut rage.
Is anyone actually going to see this movie? Like, even the people that are listening, subscribers or viewers, are you guys going to watch it? Did anyone want to just answer for them?
No.
Nah.
No, they're not going to see it?
No.
So can I just point out who the bad guy is in the entire movie?
Is it generic
Massive spoiler.
foreign guy?
Right,
No.
Put a massive spoiler thing. Put a massive spoiler sign up on the thingy, and
Yeah.
we'll put a date, time, saying when to join back in. 5,
A date
4,
and time.
3. Yeah, join back in 5 years for this. and then
Yeah,
you'll
in
find
5
out
years'
that the
time.
spoiler's done.
Well, let's put it this
Yeah,
way.
I know, just-
Yeah, this film was released in 2003, so it's over 10 years old. I think.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
old.
You know, if anyone's going to see this film, they would have friggin' seen it by now. So,
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
All right. So who's the bad guy?
Bad guy in it is Al Pacino.
Thought so.
So the
That was
mentor
very
is the bad
predictable.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
In those films, it's either like this generic foreign guy, or it's like from the inside. It's like the mentor is the bad guy, and that's the twist. It's like, you know, I trusted you. You should join me, kind of thing, right? So what if we change that? Let's change that Pacino is the bad guy. We make it that Pacino is the good guy. All right, so that's why he's the one that's got to stop Colin Farrell going on this peanut-induced rampage.
Rampage.
And the bad guy is actually the guy who refills all the vending machines. Because he knows that Colin Farrell is like so afraid of peanuts that he'll have a breakdown. He puts only peanut-related food in all the vending machines, just so that he snaps.
Let's think of it in a way that'll actually make the movie good. Let's have a look.
Whoa!
Kidding.
Oh, shit.
Well, you got to keep the twist of making it look like Al Pacino is the bad guy through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
We got to make it so it's Colin Farrell himself, but not the character James Clayton who he plays, but Colin Farrell as a character in the movie.
So, like, the actor Colin Farrell is a character in the movie,
actor Colin Farrell.
as well as the character that he plays in the movie.
Yes.
So it's kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Last Action Hero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
In fact,
gosh.
let's just put Arnold Schwarzenegger in instead.
What?
Yeah, so
Okay.
take Colin Farrell out, put Arnold Schwarzenegger in as Colin Farrell.
And then therefore Al Pacino needs to be replaced with what's his name?
Charles Dance.
Oh, Dance. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, let's replace him with what's his name? He's now all he was in some movies with him with Arnie.
That's
does
not
not help.
helpful. That is not
he was
helpful.
in Twins. He was the second twin.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah, put Danny DeVito in. He's now the hard-hitting cop.
Okay. I'm not sure he would meet like
Okay.
the height requirements to get into CIA, but You know, maybe
Danny
that's the thing.
DeVito on top of
A milk
Al
crate.
Pacino.
So it's like Master Blaster from Beyond Thunderdome.
Yes.
He's like riding around on Al Pacino's shoulders. And he's like,
Yes.
"Who runs Bartertown?" And everyone's like, "This is the CIA. What are you talking about?"
The fuck?
Alright, so the Recruit is now about Colin Farrell joins the CIA. He's played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's afraid of peanuts, so he goes on a rampage because the vending machine is only filled with peanut foods. And Al Pacino is carrying Danny DeVito around on his shoulders, and only he, as like a conjoined unit, is able to stop him.
Yes.
Okay.
Twist is they have to switch places to actually win.
What do you mean? Like Al Pacino has to ride on Danny DeVito's shoulders?
Yes, that's what
Yes.
he means.
Uh-huh.
What a twist. What a twist.
What a twist. Alright, well, you know, I think that's already an improvement, don't you agree, Freakster?
Actually, yeah. To be honest, I mean, considering I've watched the movie, hearing all that actually sounds like a better improvement. Yeah.
And they still have to keep it straight. Like, all of this, they don't comment on it all. It's still straight-edged action thriller.
Okay, so it's not like tongue-in-cheek, it's not like, you know, meta or anything, like, they're playing it straight. They're playing it like this is a legitimate thriller.
Yes.
Alright, I think we've got an improvement. Hey,
Yeah, hell yeah.
At least added $10 to the box office.
There we go.
We had $10.
I would watch that movie.
Yeah,
who would
actually,
direct it? Like, let's see, who directed the original? Roger Donaldson. What did Roger Donaldson direct? He was a Kiwi director who did The November Man, The Bank Job, The World's Fastest Indian Species in 13 Days. Well, there you go. The World's Fastest Indian was an alright movie. If you're into movies about Anthony Hopkins pissing on a lemon tree. Species was...
Weird.
It was Species. You know,
Yeah.
But
It's the whole lot
none of
sex.
those sort of like jump out at me as being amazing films. He did Dante's Peak and Cocktail, which is that one with Tom Cruise and Brian Brown as bartenders. He did The Bounty, which is the one with Mel Gibson and Anthony Hopkins. It's about the mutiny on the Bounty.
All right.
Sleeping Dogs, Cadillac Man, White Sands. He did. Apparently, he's doing a version of All Quiet on the Western Front, which is coming out next year, which will be interesting.
Yeah.
And he did a movie this year about McLaren. By the looks of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Documentary, apparently.
Well, there you go. I didn't know that, but now I do, and now so do you. But if we didn't have him directing it, like we want someone who's going to give it a bit more pizzazz.
Peter Jackson.
You reckon Peter Jackson? Like still.
Stay New Zealand.
Yeah.
Michael Bay.
No, you got to keep it as a New Zealand director, but it's Peter Jackson's directing the film about Colin Farrell joining the CIA, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, deathly afraid of peanuts, goes on a rampage, and only Danny DeVito riding on the shoulders of Al Pacino can stop him.
By going to Mordor.
With King Kong.
Where did that come from?
All right. I reckon.
All right.
I reckon we got a winner there. Would you agree, Freakster?
Yeah, why not? Peter Jackson is director. Yeah, that works out.
Cool. So, what would you say, Crybabe, is a film that you would like to have improved?
I like most of the films that I see. I'm not the sort of person who doesn't like films, so I don't know. That's a really hard question for me.
Okay, well, what's a film that you do like, but you think, I wonder if they could do this a different way?
Or we could go one of the classics and see if they could, like, I don't know, remake something that was really good and make it better. I don't
Okay,
know.
so like what's a classic
Like
movie
the
that
Dark
you would like?
Crystal or something.
So how would you remake The Dark Crystal?
That'd be actually a hard one.
Go on, do it. Think. Dark Crystal.
Could we replace all the puppets with CGI?
Oh God.
Yeah?
No.
Really? No.
We
Why not?
could.
Good.
It wouldn't make it better though, would it?
I don't know. Some of those puppets
It
are a
means
little
that
bit...
you can do a lot more with the movie instead of like with the puppets. You've got limitations, but if you did it in CGI, you wouldn't have as many limitations, and you'd be able to change it around. You could even do like a live action movie. I don't know.
A live action Dark Crystal with
like,
CGI.
Wasn't Dark Crystal live action?
It was, but it was
puppets.
puppets.
It was all puppets.
Oh.
And with CGI, you'd be able to have you'd be able to see them walking around with legs instead of just like the upper body bobbing around.
So I'm thinking kind of like Pete's Dragon type of the new Pete's Dragon that they have out that movie. That sort of like.
So it's like a reimagining
style.
rather than like just taking the original and doing it again.
Yeah, a reimagining of it. That would be cool.
Just for the audience, here's a little brief of what the movie is about. On another planet, in the distant past, a gelfling embarks on a quest to find the missing shard of a magic crystal, and so restore order to his world. A Jim Henson production.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we need to revive Jim Henson for this.
Well, no.
And we would need to have that.
Okay.
And we would need to have that guy that goes,
We need 25% more of that.
25% more.
Yeah.
All right. Well, would there be any like plot elements that we would change? Like with Pete's Dragon, I think they kind of changed it to be more about like wild forest kid has a dragon and he's adopted and all that kind of stuff, which wasn't quite in keeping with the original animated version. Would we change anything like that for our reimagined Dark Crystal? Like, is it still going to be set on an alien planet in the distant past?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's more fun that way.
Okay.
But it could just be more elaborate, I guess.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Sorry.
Like, you could...
It's not a long time ago. It's in the distant past. Not
Yeah.
a long time ago.
But you
And
see...
a planet slightly far away.
Because we'd be measuring it in light years, so, like, maybe what's, like, a long time ago there is actually just the present. So, like, maybe the whole film is framed by, like, NASA are picking up signals from this distant planet that is showing this journey to, find the shards of this crystal.
And now it's all through the eyes of the NASA scientists trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
That's it. And then all of a sudden, like, it like, through a wormhole opens up in, like, New York City above the skyline, and, like, all these CGI Muppet characters fall out. And they're like, we need to find the crystals!
Before the Rainbow Connection gets us.
Yes. And would we still have that? What's the name of that little furry friggin' one that it's like a little pet that they have?
It's a puppy, kind of like a puppy. Yes. I can't remember what it's called.
Let's Google the Dark Crystal, because I haven't seen that movie since I was like 6, something like that. So let's have a
Are they
look.
giving you nightmares?
No,
I've seen it more recently.
It's just one of those
They
films.
actually are remaking the Dark Crystal.
Are they? Oh well,
Yeah.
now we'll be able to tell them how they can improve it. All right, so the characters. Fizgig. Is Fizgig the little puppy thing?
It sounds like the name of the puppy thing.
Yeah. Would that
I
still
can't
be like
remember.
the little fuzzy ball of fluff, or would we do something different with it?
Oh, you could probably do something bit different with it. Like the ball of fluff, I guess, was good for like it was little and fluffy. You could still have something little and fluffy, but maybe give it legs or something.
What if we replace it with a
I don't know.
Furby? Like we get rid of get a little fluffy thing. We get a Furby instead.
I've got a perfect plan. Got the perfect plan.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Okay, so when the evil Skeziks chase all the what are they called? The Gelflings out of their world, they tumble into the magical world of New York City, where they have to live as tiny blue people running around town with Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, with Neil Patrick Harris and Hank Azaria rocks up
Yeah.
as
So, it's the Skeziks.
as the
all of them.
yeah, he's just like the hive mind, the Skeksis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Skeksis, that's the one. Yep. Fully original. also, they become they become a world famous singing preteen trio,
Oh, okay.
which have to deal with their rival music group, the Skizettes.
Okay.
No. No.
Oh,
But
I
this
was
is
just
hip.
shot down.
It's famous. This is what's hip right now.
It's hip right now.
Also, the little fuzzy animal is now an orange cat
An orange
Who likes-
cat.
who likes
Oh,
lasagna.
Don't no.
No.
I need
Stop
Voiced,
it.
voiced by Bill Murray. Oh no,
Voiced by Bill Murray.
not Bill Murray. Bill
Yeah.
Murray wouldn't sign up to that because he's Bill Murray. Maybe because we want it to sound like Bill Murray, but we can't use Bill Murray. We should do Dave Coulier as Bill Murray, like they did in the Ghostbusters cartoon.
Yeah.
Because they had
Yes.
Lorenzo Music doing the Peter Venkman character, and then apparently Bill Murray went up to the producers and he's like, "Why don't you just get someone that sounds like me?" And so they got Dave Coulier because he could do a really shitty Bill Murray impression, but he didn't cost as much as Bill Murray. So that's kind of how the angle that they went on. You'll know Dave Coulier as the uncle on Full House who always does cartoon character impersonations. Yeah. 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 So we get him to do the voice of Fizgig as an orange cat that sounds like
Yeah.
Bill Murray, kind of. And who's going to direct this one? Because Jim Henson directed the original.
I think he should still do it.
Frank Oz.
Frank Oz and Jim Henson both did the original directing.
Oh yeah. Well, Frank Oz is still around. He can still do the directing. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but
it should
he
be
wouldn't-
just still,
yeah.
fully Jim Henson. Just Jim Henson.
We're just
Just
going
all
to
by
get
himself.
the dead guy can
All
do
by
it on
himself.
his own.
Yep.
His death isn't the
Resurrect him.
career setback it used to be. Well, we need someone who can do like animation and stuff, right? What if we get Adam Elliott? Adam Elliott can direct it. He did Harvey
Adam
Crumpet.
Elliott. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually met him, so I
That's
can actually
how have I.
talk to him and get some stuff. Yeah. I know how to re-meet him too, so because I got some million insight. So
Oh,
yes.
you've got
There we go.
connections.
Yeah, I got connections with this guy. I'm 1 degree from. No, we're gonna get Kevin Bacon on it. Everything has to contain Kevin Bacon in some way.
Okay, so all of these,
he
we're
can
just going to
direct-
have like a blanket rule that every single one of these like reworked ideas, Kevin Bacon is in there somewhere. Like,
Yeah, and then this time he's directing.
so Kevin Bacon is co-directing with Adam Elliott
Yes.
to do the reboot of the Dark Crystal, which is about
Excellent.
little blue creatures that arrive in New York with Neil Patrick Harris, and an orange cat voiced by Dave Coulier, doing a Bill Murray impression.
I love it. It'll add to his 4 directions.
His 4 directions.
Yeah, he's directed 4 movies. Oh, he's actually directed a TV movie.
Who has Kevin Bacon?
A TV. Kevin Bacon.
What's Kevin Bacon directed?
Free the Bacon. It's a video short. He's directed 4 episodes of The Closer,
Uh-huh.
the movie classic Loverboy, and Losing Chase, a TV movie.
Right. Losing Chase. Is that
So,
about
yeah.
Chevy Chase?
It is now.
Okay.
Chase, a lifetime resident of Martha's Vineyard, Chevy Chase married Richard, and like the area, grew up in the middle class. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. So that's the Dark Crystal. And Crybabe, how do you feel about that adaptation?
I think some of it's a bit silly, but sure.
It's going to be box office gold. You just wait.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear it.
Yeah, everyone will be wanting merchandise deals and all of that bizzo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get a solid 7.5 on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, what is it that they need to have to be certified fresh? It just needs to be like more than 50% positive or something, doesn't it?
Probably.
It's like,
I think
Is
so.
it?
I don't know. It's an aggregate score, so like depending on how many people say it's good, how many people say it's bad, they kind of go, well, the majority of opinions are good, so it's fresh. So that's why like the 2016 Ghostbusters movie was certified fresh because all the critics were like, oh man, this is so good. Even though like all the user reviews were like, this dumb as shit. It was still certified fresh because the majority of the critics said it was good. So aggregate scores are a good way of showing how many people have an opinion on something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, something went bling.
Another post.
Somebody sent through.
Okay.
It looks like some fan art. There we go. Crybabe,
Yeah.
Pcardi, Dr. Colin, and Freakster. There we go. That looks
What,
like it's
Pcardi?
looks like it's come from Microsoft Paint. Would that be a fair assumption?
Yes.
There we go.
Someone loves their Cadillacs. Pcardi.
All right. So moving along, Pcardi.
Yeah. This is tough.
Yeah. What's a movie that you would like to have improved?
You can't. There's so many to choose from.
Oh,
So many
wow.
awesome films that need to be
okay.
redone.
All right. We'll pick one.
Son of the Mask is one, but I don't know if we should talk about that perfection because I don't think you can improve it anymore.
It's kind of like a hidden. It's like a diamond in the rough, a hidden gem, right?
Yes, a very hidden diamond in the rough. So far hidden.
The best quote of the movie is definitely Bob Hoskins going Loki, because that's all I can remember.
Yeah, same. Oh God.
What?
It was a movie.
Yeah.
Do you know there was an Avengers before the movie The Avengers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
back in the 70s, yeah.
Yeah, I think they should just remake that instead of the new Avengers.
Get Lou Ferrigno back as the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on a
Technically
retirement
they
plan
have.
now.
This is a movie that had Uma Thurman, Ralph Fiennes, Sean Connery in it.
Oh,
Well, I mean
the
that Avengers.
Oh,
Oh
right.
my god. I hate you so much, Pcardi.
Well, that was from the 1990s, that film. And
Yeah.
that was based on the 60s TV show, The Avengers.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
where Diana Rigg kind of got her big break as Emma
Mm.
Peel. And now she's known as Lady Tyrell in Game of Thrones. There you go. She was everyone's fantasy girl back in the 60s. So you reckon they should do a
Because they wanted-
film remake of the film remake of the TV series?
No, I just reckon they should just use the same cast as playing those characters, but trying to be the characters that are in the new Avengers movie.
Wait.
Wait, so you
Wait,
want
what?
Uma Thurman, Ray Fiennes, and Sean Connery to act as the entire cast of the Avengers? The Marvel
Yes.
Avengers.
But as the characters that they're playing in the Avengers that they were in.
But there's not enough of them.
Well, they got one female, so she can play all the female characters.
Yeah, so
Um,
she's Black Widow, yeah. But like,
Yeah.
who's Ray Fiennes and Sean Connery playing? Like,
Uh,
I'm guessing that Ray Fiennes has to be Iron Man, Thor, Hawkeye.
No. You don't get. No. What he wants is them to play John Steed, Emma Peel, and what the hell is that other guy? The Winter or whatever his name is, but in the movie. In the new Avengers
I want
movie.
them to play as them, but as Iron Man, Black
What?
Widow.
Wait, so you want to have the 1960s style English characters, but played by Ralph Fiennes and Uma Thurman playing the characters from Marvel's Avengers. So, we take the plot of the 1990s film and the cast of the 1990s film,
Yep.
but the characters are actually the characters from Marvel's The Avengers,
Yes.
but in the plot from the 90s film.
Yes.
That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I know.
Eddie
I'm so
Izzard's in
lost
it.
with That.
It doesn't really improve things, though.
Keely Hawes is in it. How do you say her surname?
Keely Hawes, yeah.
Yeah, she's in it.
All right, the movie I really want to get fixed. Like this is actually what I want to get fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Is I want to fix The Last Airbender, directed by M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. I want
Okay.
that to be good. The TV series was awesome. Why can't they make a good movie of it? They don't need to make a good movie of it. They got a TV series. Let's put that into a movie. Let's just watch that.
So what you want them to do
No,
is just
fix-
recut the TV series as a movie.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to go one up because I've never seen either of them. So I'm just going to, like, based on what I know of The Last Airbender, there's, like, they can manipulate the elements and stuff, can't they?
Yes, the four elements.
Yeah. So
And there's countries based around those groups. So you've got the Fire Nation, who controls most of the fire stuff. The Earth Nation, that's good with the Earth. The Wind Nomads, who are like nomadic monks who go around the world knowing what wind. And you got the two water tribes
okay.
who live at the North and South Pole.
So what if the tribes are represented by, like, monsters that are made of those elements? Like, the firebenders are like fire monsters, and the earthbenders are, rock monsters kind of thing.
But the whole point of the avatar is that the avatar the avatar is reborn every time, but the avatar can control all four elements.
Yeah.
Would you just have like a monster that controls all four?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The
So
monster that can control a four.
he ends up, like, the whole film is like they have representatives of all of those nations looking for him, and at the end of the film they find him, and he's like part all of those different creatures. Like, he's got, like, one hand is made out of rock and another hand's made out of fire, and, like, his head's made of water, that kind of thing, right? And he turns out that, like, they thought he was going to, like, save everyone, but he's actually the opposite. He's going to destroy the entire world. And so they all have to combine their powers and create Captain Planet, who will destroy the Last Airbender.
I knew Captain Planet was coming in there somewhere. Oh,
And that's how I would improve on M. Night Shyamalan's version.
nice. I would totally watch that. I haven't seen Captain Planet in a good long while. Who would you have Captain Planet as? Who would play Captain Planet?
Don Cheadle.
Kevin Bacon.
Don Cheadle
Wait,
and
what?
Kevin Bacon, like, they
Damn.
have to summon two of them up because, like, the Avatar is just, like, too powerful. So they have to send, like, two different versions of Captain Planet. The Don Cheadle version and the Kevin Bacon version. And the Don Cheadle version, like, turns everyone into trees. And then the Kevin Bacon version has to turn everyone back because the Don Cheadle one goes rogue. Right. So now they've got John Cheadle, Captain Planet, and the Avatar working together against all the other guys.
Yeah, so like Kevin Bacon is like this newcomer as the Captain Planet, and Don Cheadle is like the old like knowledgeable one. So what happens is it's an era where the world that a line of the best defense of the world, that are most intelligent, that are more important ever. They have to get an insider view of being Captain Planet. So we can have John Cheadle as the only person that wants in the agency. And it turns out Don Cheadle betrays them, and we're making an action, and we'll call it the Planet Recruit.
The Planet Recruit.
No.
The
we're
Dark
not calling
Planet
it the Recruit.
The Dark Planet Recruit.
The Dark Planet Recruit.
Good grief.
Yeah, and like the new one doesn't he may not have the attitude of a typical recruit, but he's one of the smartest graduating seniors.
I hate you so much. I know what you're doing. Good grief.
See,
I think we're making the best movies.
Hollywood needs to be listening to us. We got all the ideas. We got all the answers.
Yeah. We got everything, man. We got comedy. We just smash everything together.
That's it.
We'll make one great, gigantic, awesome movie.
That's it.
The thing is, it's advertised as an action thriller, but it's played as a horror.
Okay.
What? That you? Okay.
Subverting expectations.
Yeah, I know, pretty much, eh?
All right. Well, that's one down. All right. My suggestion for a movie that we should improve is the Emoji Movie.
I've never seen it. So what was bad?
The whole thing from beginning to end was bad. It's just basically product placement for emojis and various pieces of software. It's like if you took the plot from Wreck-It Ralph and you went, let's take all the characters out and all the character development out and just replace it with ads for apps for your phone. And that's basically the Emoji Movie.
Isn't that what Wreck-It Ralph was anyway? Or well,
kind of. There was actually a story in there somewhere, but it was mostly just for people going, oh, I wish that was a video game that I could play.
This animated comedy takes place in Textopolis, a world inside a smartphone that's inhabited by various emojis. There is an emoji named Gene, voiced by T.J. Miller, is ashamed that he has multiple facial expressions while his colleagues only have one each. And he embarks on a quest to be like everyone else. James Corden, Anna Faris, Jennifer Coolidge, Patrick Stewart, no!
He plays the poop emoji.
And Ralph also lead their voices to this film by Snowdy Pictures Animation. PG for crude humor.
Oh yeah, check it out. 2 out of 10. That's how great it was.
It's got an average rating of 2.7 out of 10. It's got a 9% tomato reader.
Wow.
Alright, so my plan is this. This is how we're going to improve the Emoji Movie. It's no longer going to be about this whole journey of emojis. Like, the emojis aren't the characters. The whole point of the movie is that someone has been murdered. And the only clue is that on their phone, the moment they were killed, they put together a text message made up of a series of emojis.
That would be cool.
So there's like the skull emoji, the gun emoji, and like that emoji where it's like the yellow face with the tongue that looks like a dollar bill. They're like...
Alright, so I'm going to look at the emojis on my phone and,
Yeah.
and see what these are. The tongue one? I don't think
He's
I've
got
heard
like
of
dollar
it.
signs for his eyes and his tongue's green.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. So that's the only clue that they've got. You know, there's no fingerprints at the scene. There were no witnesses, but there's this text message, and they know that it was a text message from the time that they were killed because the time on the text message matches the coroner's estimate of like the time of death, right? So they're like, well, how do we find out who this person is? And so they got to decode the emoji message. They're like, did they owe anyone money? And they're like, no, they didn't owe anyone any money. They were like really rich and they didn't have any enemies. And so they're like, well, what is it? And like, as the plot unfolds, as it emerges that Kevin Bacon is a bad guy, right? And he's the guy who runs the company that designs the emojis. And he was killing this person because they were going to blackmail him. They were going to blackmail him because he'd been taking money from all of the profits from the emojis and giving it to Middle Eastern dictators to like fund terrorism. And so
here's a twist.
Yeah.
All right, so they have the emoji list, and they're discovering and they're finding and they're getting clues But just when they find out and go to the location where they think the main thing's gonna, like the big clue is about, they find out that the body was dead 2 hours before this text was sent, and it was actually Kevin Bacon who sent the message to lure them there.
Well, what about this? What about this? Because the coroner corroborated that the message was sent at the time of death, right? What if it emerges that the coroner was in cahoots with Kevin Bacon?
That's cool.
And they were throwing the cops off the scent because they said, oh, well, you know, it was sent at the same time that they died. But it wasn't.
Should we keep Patrick Stewart?
Patrick Stewart is the coroner, and Kevin Bacon is the emoji guy. How
Love
about
it.
that?
Love
And Will Wheaton is the corpse. Just because he needs
some more
work.
acting. Yeah.
And the climax of the film is outside the Apple building, right? So in Silicon Valley or whatever, and you've got Kevin Bacon and Patrick Stewart in these like mechanoid like exoskeletons, but the exoskeletons are shaped like emojis, and so they're like wreaking havoc on Silicon Valley with these like emoji exoskeletons with like freaking laser beam eyes and stuff, right? And the only way that they can stop them is by sending a text message with no emojis in it into the mainframe of the software in those mechanoids, because the machines can only communicate through their code in emoji. And so when you send something that doesn't have any emoji in it, it registers as an error, and it like blows up the emoji mechs and kills everyone inside.
I'm just gonna review here of the
of
emoji
my
movie
one.
as it is right now.
Oh, okay, yep.
No, a different review of the actual emoji movie as it is right now. If I'm not dreaming, I've just seen one of the boldest mainstream American movies in ages. This is a legitimate review from The Age. Why?
Well, I'm assuming because they're gone, how can a film like this actually be made and distributed?
I know, I got 4 out of 5. Meanwhile, the competition, the Herald Sun, said, "Come back, the Angry Birds movie. Your 2016 cartoon calamity. Not only is this all forgiven, you're a paragon of taste, restraint, and higher learning when compared to this year's atrocity, leaping from phone screen to big screen. 0 out of 5." I'm liking the movie though. I think we could actually make it.
We should. Who should we get to direct it?
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright should direct it.
Yeah,
Yes.
fair enough.
I was going to suggest Guillermo del Toro because of his experience with Pacific Rim, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he can bring in that dude from Pan's Labyrinth with like the eyeballs in his hands that eats children. Just for no reason.
Oh, God.
Like he becomes an emoji. It's like the Pan's Labyrinth emoji. My bank account's waiting, Hollywood. It's ready when you are.
Nice.
Okay, so overall, I think we got some really good ideas there. Everyone, congratulations.
Yeah.
We're going to be millionaires.